In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a layer slider. And we have a page set up here, and we're going to insert that slider up here. So let's go ahead and make this. In your admin section, click on the layer slider sidebar menu. You can see I have a lot of sliders set up here already. We're going to go ahead and add a new one. Create some slides for it. It'll first take you to the global settings here. And as you can see, there's a lot of different things you can set here. So take some time and go through them, but I will show you the ones that we're going to set. The width and the height. I'm going to have a fixed width slider here. I want it to be 940 by 434. I want it to be responsive. And most of the default settings here are good. I usually leave them alone. The animate first layer I'm going to turn on. We can scroll through here and look at all these. The appearance. This is an important one. You can use any of their default skins, which they list them all right here. We also have built an Avada skin, which is that top shadow that hangs there. I like to use the Avada skin when I'm using a full width slider. For fixed width, I like to use one of theirs, and I'm going to choose glass. And go ahead and hit save. Now it's going to take you to your layers tab, which is right here. If you want to go back to your global settings, just click on this tab here and you'll be back. Layers tab is where you build your slides. Now there's already going to be a layer number 1 right here. This is your first slide. And if you want a second slide, all you got to do is click add new layer and your layer number 2 will show up, which is your second slide. Now each layer has a main background layer, which is this right here. And then for any text or images or videos or anything like that, you add a new sublayer for it. So let's get started here. We're going to set a background. And as you can see, it's right here. You can set the slide direction. We're going to just do this from the bottom. You can set the slide delay, which is how long the entire slide will take from start to finish. I'm just going to move that up a little bit. Slide in animation has how long this image will take to show up on the screen. I'm going to change this to a lower number, and the slide out as well. And then here you can set the easing, the type of animation it's going to do. I'm just going to leave that at default. And let's scroll down here and let's start a new sublayer. Our first sublayer is going to be an image, but as you can see here, you can do all different types of sublayers here. Some body text, the headings. If you want one of our buttons, you would use a div. And this is on the basic tab. There's the options tab, which is where you set all the different types of animations and speeds and things like that. There's a links tab. There's a styles tab where you can input custom CSS for your text. So as you can see, there's a lot of options here. So let's go ahead and add a new sublayer. I'm just going to click in the field and the media library pops up. We're going to use this guy here. Insert into post. And there he is. Let's go ahead and slide him over into place here. And let's set some animations for him. Let's see, I would like him to come in from the top. Let's set the duration to 1,000, and I would like ease in out elastic, and the delay is, let's just set this at 200. The delay speed is the time it's going to take for this image to show up on the screen. The duration is how long the animation will take from the time it shows up to the time it completes. And as you can see, you can set the slide in animation and the slide out. Just for sake of a quick video here, I'm going to just set the same settings for both, but you can play around with them and you can change the slide in and the slide out. So there's our first sublayer. You can drag and drop things into place, as I said, and let's go ahead and create a new sublayer. This is going to be a text layer. Let's input some text. And you can see your text layer shows up right here. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and style it. You can add custom CSS to each of the sublayers here. Click on the Style tab, And for sake of time, I have already created some styles. I'm just going to paste them in here. But as you can see, you can do just about anything. Anything that CSS has, you can do. I've set a font size, I've set the color, font family, line height, some padding, a background color, and I want it to be all uppercase. And as you can see up here, there's our new text layer with all those styles applied. So now let's go and set some animation for it. We're going to have this come in from the top. The duration we're going to leave these at 1500, and the delay, let's just go ahead and do 500. And I'm going to leave the easing at the ease in out hint, which is a good one to use for this. So that layer set, let's go ahead and add a new one. This is also going to be text layer. And as you can see, there it is. We're going to go ahead and apply the exact same styles. Just paste those in there. And as you can see, it's taking them on. Let's move that into place. And for the options, I'm going to have this one come in from the bottom. Going to leave the duration the same, leave the easing the same, and let's go ahead and set this to, let's see, 900, which is 400 more than the last one. And we'll do that for each consecutive slide since these are going to be the same. Okay, so that one's set. Let's add a new sublayer here. More text. There it is up there. We're going to apply the same styles, but this time we're actually going to use, we're going to make the text color the green. So we're going to insert that up here. And then the background color we're going to make black. And there we go. Drag that into place. Let's go to the options. I'm going to have this one come from the top. And I'm going to leave the duration the same, the easing the same. This is going to be set at 1300. And as you start to build slides, you'll realize that these settings are going to change for each slide or for each sublayer you have, and it's really good just to play around with it and see what does what. These are settings I know are going to work for this, which is why I'm inserting them in there. But it's good just to play around with it and see what you like. So that one's set. Let's add a new sublayer here. We're going to do a last text layer here. Oops, I didn't click on the right field. And we're going to apply those same styles. Oh, I lost them because I copied something. So let's go back to this sublayer. Copy all those. Go back to sublayer number 5, which is this layer here. On the Style tab and paste those in there, which is the black background as well. And let's drag that into place. Actually, let's scoot these apart a little bit more. So there's our slide so far. We have that set. Let's set the animations for this one. See, we went top, bottom, top. So let's do this one bottom. And this is just going to create a animation progression. We're going to leave the duration the same, duration the same. The last one was 1300, so this one will be 1700. And let's leave that. Okay, so now let's add one more layer. This is going to be one of our buttons that you see in our demo. And we're going to use the div content here, and basically you're just going to input some HTML for the button. Insert the link. This is the important part, the class equals, we're going to input button large green. And you can change that to button medium green or button medium red. We have 8 different color styles that you can use. You can find the names of those in the theme options, but all you got to do is change out the size and the actual name of the color, and you'll get a different button. Close that, insert the text, and then close the link. So right there you can see that is our button HTML content. And if you scroll up, you'll see here's our button. Now you'll notice it's not green. It doesn't have our styles applied to it, but this is just the preview window. It will look as it's supposed to on the site. Move that down a little bit. Now let's set some animations for this. We're going to do bottom. This we're going to move up to 2000. And we're going to leave this at 1700. So there is our slide, and like I said, if things need moved around or adjusted, you can go ahead and do that. Create some more space, but it'll just depend on the type of slide you're making. These are not lined, and you can input the exact location in the settings down here as well if you want, or you can just drag and drop into place. So let's go ahead and save changes. So that'll be it. So now what we need to do is have this slide show up on this page. So the next step is to go into this page, which is called this video tutorial page. Scroll down until you see the page options, and slider type, this is the layer slider, and go ahead and select layer slider, which is right here, and that one was layer slider 8, which was the last one I made. So just make sure that you see the number of the layer slider in the layer slider settings to know which one to select. And all these settings are exactly the same for all of our sliders. You create the slide, and then you come into your page options, you select the slider type and then the name of the specific slider. Go ahead and hit update. Let's go to our page and hit refresh. And there's our slide. As you can see, there's a second blank slide set up here that I set up, which was layer 2. And that basically allows you to see the navigation here on this skin. If we only had one slide set up, you would not see these navigation arrows and buttons. So just make sure you know that going into it, that you need to set a second slide, which you can see here. If we go into the slider we made, which right here you can see it's layer slider 8, you can see this is our second slide, which is blank. So that completes the layer slider video. You can have a lot of fun with it, be creative, and just play around with the settings. Thank you very much.